Hey Tash, how are you
Hello,
doing?
I'm
Hi.
good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on the podcast finally. Even though the
Finally.
scheduling was mostly on me, but it's fine.
Good.
Um, Welcome back, guys, to the Nigerian Abroad podcast. And I mean, I know that the podcast generally is about like the immigrant life, the Nigerian abroad. We talk about visas, we talk about culture shock, we talk about what is particular to the immigrants. But today I'm very interested in looking at a different kind of Nigerian abroad. Basically someone who either moved to another country when they were younger or were born to another country when they're younger. So they are Nigerian by their parents, but belong to another country, if that makes sense. So I have a guest here for that particular thing. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Natasha. I am born and raised British,
Mm-hmm.
but I am Nigerian.
Yeah. So, like, I like the way you're like, but I'm Nigerian.
Yes.
Have you ever like had experiences where people tend to underestimate your
Oh
Nigerianness?
yeah, all the time.
Oh my
Even
god.
till now,
Even till
it
now, like,
happens.
oh my
It
gosh.
happens.
So, for instance, like right now you have like obviously surrounded by a lot of Nigerians, or also a lot of British people and stuff. So I'm guessing that there have been moments where you have had to prove your, should I say, Britishness to the British people and then
Nigerianness.
Nigerianness to the Nigerian people. Give me an
Yeah.
instance on like both scenarios.
Oh, okay. So for example, the common if I say I'm from Nigeria, sorry, and I'm around a bunch of Nigerians, most people think I'm Yoruba. There's so many different tribes that are
Mm-hmm.
Yoruba.
Mm-hmm.
So the main conversation will be either in Yoruba or Pidgin, right? So that's the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
thing. So when I'm amongst my Nigerian friends, they have this moment where they're kind of trying to go into Pidgin or into English. And then I have to try and remind them like I can fully understand everything you're
Oh
saying,
yeah, yeah,
whether
yeah.
it's Pidgin. If you
Okay.
speak Yoruba, that's
That's
different.
the
But if you're speaking Pidgin, I understand you fully. And then in the English setting, where I could be around a bunch of English people, maybe in an office space,
mm-hmm.
and because I live in London, it's a lot more diverse. But then if I was to say I was in somewhere just outside of London,
Yeah.
they'll say, "Oh wow, where are you from?" And then some people might say, "Oh, I'm British," and just leave it there.
That's true.
Whereas I
Yeah.
would say I'm Nigerian first, and they're like,
Mm.
"Oh, Nigeria, okay, Africa."
Do you
Uh,
speak African?
yeah, and then I have to go down this whole spiel of I'm from Nigeria. I was
Mm-hmm.
born here.
Yeah.
If I want to in detail, I guess.
Yeah.
And but in Nigeria, there's different tribes, and I'm from
Yeah,
Delta.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so then I'm always trying to make
Which
sure
explains
that
the pigeon bit because you definitely understand
exactly.
pigeon.
Oh, I understand. I may not speak it, but I understand it.
So when you are asked where you're from, you say Nigerian.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But you're British. Are you British?
I'm British based on my passport.
Girls. Do you know what? So okay, one of the things so there's a little bit of, I don't say pain, but there's like Nigerians feel peppered when people, like, obviously someone has a British passport or something, and we're like, oh, you have a British passport. Oh gosh, must be nice, or that kind of situation. So when you just said, oh, I'm British by passport, I'm just like, of course, all the visa and the visa whatnot and the blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's fine. You're a Nigerian from Delta State, so you're not Yoruba.
Nope.
There's so many other
Just put that out
tribes. There's so many other tribes and all of that. But when you were growing up, was there a point where you realized that your identity was complicated?
there. Oh yeah, definitely. So I was born in Southeast London, which was predominantly black.
Okay.
And whether it's black African, black Caribbean, it was pretty much black. And then I moved over to Northwest London, which was predominantly white.
Hmm.
So it was very, very different for me from going to a school where you are the majority
Yeah.
to now being the
Oh, yeah.
minority.
Yeah.
And I remember in primary school, I was probably in year 3 or 4, there will be a handful of black students, let's say 6,
Hmm.
and that's a class of 30, and there'll be 2 classes in that year group. So that's 60 children. There'll maybe be 6 black kids. And it doesn't matter if they're Ghanaian, Nigerian,
All of you are black.
Caribbean,
That's what
we're
they
black.
say. Yeah.
So we would come together and be like, oh, this is our friend, because you can feel like you're
So
one.
you didn't have a choice as to who would be your friend
We
or
didn't
whatever. You
even
just
know. We didn't
fair
even
enough.
know. There was no discrimination. It was just, you're black, I'm black, we're the same. We're friends. That's just kind of how it worked. And it felt
Hmm.
comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I still had white friends,
Yeah.
but then their way of living was slightly different to mine. So I would always try to, you just naturally gravitated to what you know.
Yeah.
And your parents are almost the same, similar
Yeah.
backgrounds, similar upbringings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't until I probably got to high school where I saw a lot more Africans, or
Mm-hmm.
no, black people. Let me
Yeah.
just put it like that. And then I realized there's more to being black. There's Black Caribbean. And when you say Caribbean, there's so many different
Mm-hmm.
places in
Yeah.
the Caribbean. Then there's Black African.
Yeah.
I've met Zimbabwean. And when you go down to
Ghanaian. Yeah.
Nigeria,
Oh. Nigeria's a whole nother.
exactly. So even though you thought you were all the same, some of my closest friends were Yoruba because that was the majority.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them were Igbo. And then it's already like a big mind-blowing
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
of cultures within still a small minority.
Mm.
So it's it's very, very
That's
interesting.
true.
So you're
Yeah.
just trying to figure it out all
In
the
those
time.
times when you were trying to figure it out, did you have points where you felt like you had to choose one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would be like, oh my gosh, am I British? Am I Nigerian? Or like, I I don't say obviously I don't relate, but let me say like from the other side. So I have a friend who moved, I think she was 5 or 6, she moved to the UK. She's British now, and she was saying that one of the things she experienced was like obviously not fitting in, and people would not be able to pronounce her name and they would make fun of that and stuff. So she wasn't fitting in. Even the black British people, even the black Africans or the black people would obviously still make fun of her name
Mm.
because she had a Yoruba name and it was funny to them. So when she finally met a couple of us that were Nigerian, she was so excited
Mm.
to be among Nigerian community. But even then she still didn't feel like she belonged because like you said, like the pidgin English or something, like maybe she tried to pronounce oh now wow or something and I'll be like, why are you saying like that and stuff like that. So to us it all seemed like banter,
Mm-mm.
but you could tell that she was really trying to fit in. And for me, it was just a whole moment because now I think about it and I'm just like, in my head, it was just banter. And there was like a whole lot of unlearning that I had to do regarding that aspect of making her feel like she didn't belong because she's already lived her life not belonging anywhere. And then having to now deal with this community, they're like, oh, I'm actually Nigerian, you guys. And then the Nigerians are also like, I beg, go and sit down, Joe. Like, what's it like? Those things like that. Because
Mm.
to Nigerians, to most Nigerians, everything's a joke. So you're just like, oh my gosh, I beg. Just go. You yourself that with your British but Oyinbo or something like that. Like
Mm.
they say. what
So
was
spot.
that? What was that arrow?
Oh gosh.
Have you ever been called Oyinbo?
Oh yeah. I still do. I've been
By
called
who?
Oreo. I've been
Wait,
called Oibo. I've been
wait.
called different things. I now it rolls off my back because I don't care.
Oh my god.
But growing up, it was more like an insult. So when you hear the word Oibo when I was much, much younger, the definition is white.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it in the dictionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Nigerian dictionary. And for somebody to look at me and call me white, that's offensive. When you say it like that, it sounds offensive, right? I didn't
Nigerians are not
warrant.
ready for this conversation,
No,
honestly. Like,
it's unwarranted. So it's almost like an insult for somebody to call me Oibo. or
Basically, you don't belong here.
I don't, yeah, I'm not like you.
Mm.
And then considering what I said previously about being in a minority, we may not have the same exact background
Yeah.
in terms of how you grew up and how I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
but we were in this country. We are a minority,
Yeah.
and then you and I are
Oh
supposed
my
to be the same, and
God.
we're supposed to be one. But then you're now segregating me even more and calling me Oreo. So you're saying I'm black on the outside,
So,
but I'm white on the inside.
so there's a level of, I don't speak for all Nigerians. Let me just say
Same.
this here. So, but there's a level of, I can't the word is like at the tip of my tongue, but I can't figure it out. There, Nigerians feel like they've suffered. So you being like, first of all, our passport is already shit. Let's start. So
Can I
somebody
just add, I
being
have that passport too. I understand that side of things. I understand that side.
so like, I'm just even speaking from just a general level of just having being British
Mm.
and the quote privilege it affords you. But I think having that privilege also, most people forget that that privilege comes with a lot of other things that they have not they don't realize. For instance, not feeling like you fit in anywhere. So all we see is, I'm saying we because there was a time that I was also seeing, I'm just like, oh my god, this person's British, so of course
You have it all.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I want to be British, but then I'm just like, maybe just the passport, but it's fine. But I think they feel like they have suffered so much, and who are you
Mm.
to come and sharing that suffering? That's the best way I can think of. That's the
Yeah.
best kind of explanation I can think about.
Yeah.
Which is
Fair to a
very,
degree. It's everyone's entitled to their experience.
but then it's another thing is like, everyone's feeling or wanting of belonging is different.
Yes.
Because Nigerians, I mean, we have me. I grew up in the north, and obviously I never fit into with the Hausas because my mom is Igbo, my dad is from Edo State, so I have that whole sense of thing. And I come here and I'm like, I'm an African in this country, and then there's you who was born here, rightly so. You belong here, but still having to face racism, microaggression, and then the community that you feel like should be yours is like, oh well, you were born here, so you don't really know
You're not
what we
like
have
us.
gone through. Like, they're not like us.
It's true. That's but essentially what
Yeah.
they're saying. You know, when somebody stands next to me and they don't hear me speak and we're both in the room,
Yeah.
I'm the same as that person. But the minute I open my mouth
Accent.
and my accent comes through, I am now less than,
Which, by the
because you've
way,
now judged me
yeah.
without even getting to know me.
Which, by the way, a lot of us are actually just forming that accent, so I don't even understand. Like,
There's different levels in the forming.
oh my god, me! Because there was a day that I was at work, and I think I was on the phone like trying to book something, and then I was like, let me just hear what I sound like at work, because I always say that I know I sound different than when I'm talking to everybody else. If I'm back home talking to my husband or my friends who are Nigerian, I just, even when I'm talking to you, I have my accent, my Nigerian accent, but when I'm at work
It
or
changes. It's a code switch.
yeah, the code switching is just, and then I listened to myself and I was like, huh. Which is very funny because before I traveled, I was like, never. Oh my God, I would never be that person. I speak with my Nigerian accent and that is it. Look at Chimamanda. That was my inspiration. I was just like, she speaks very well, blah, blah, blah. And then the thing just changed. But then I was just like, that's fine as well. Like, I can change and I'm fine with changing because I say it with my full chest now. And I'm just like, I want to change. I change it all the time. Even when I said I don't change again, I still didn't. I was just like, I'm fine. Like, I feel like
I
that
wouldn't say
accent
change.
thing,
It's an adapt. You adapt to the situation.
girl, I change.
Because the reason why, for example, growing up, when we had a house phone, right? We didn't have mobile phones back then. We had house phone. So when the house phone rings, it's either something very important, school or your friends. And when the house phone rings and they're calling for your mom, and I've picked up the phone,
Yeah.
I'll talk normally. Hello, who's speaking? And then they'll say, oh, can I speak to your mom, please? Okay, mom, it's so and so. Let's say someone from work.
Yeah.
Her accent will now change from telling me off with a pidgin
Oh,
accent
so you watched it.
to
Okay.
hello, can I ask who's calling, please? You know, it's like an operator / Siri accent that we've
Okay.
now come accustomed to. and then she'll hang up the phone and then go back into pidgin.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm used to. I understand it
You're used to the
because you're
code
adapting so
switching.
that
Yeah.
you make the other person feel somewhat comfortable.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to feel and make yourself comfortable, so you don't have to repeat yourself or try and
That bit.
feel like, oh, this person's never going to understand me and get frustrated. I hear that. I completely hear it. Even sometimes when I'm talking to, Nigerians in Nigeria, and they're like, huh, what was Natasha saying? What's this thing that she said? And then my own husband has to help translate what we're both speaking English. Mine just sounds a bit different.
Okay. Oh my god, I forgot what I was going to say about the accent thing.
The code switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you mentioned something about because you don't want to repeat yourself, and that was the major thing that turned on my code switching. So it was my first job, and I think it was scary, but I was talking to like older people and stuff. So I was just like, "Hi, what do you want?" And they're like, What are you saying?" But then I watched this Ghanaian lady. She was one that was training me for the night, and she was with her Ghanaian accent with me. But then when she was working, she just switched up immediately, and they seemed to respond better. And I was just like, you know what? I'm here for a job. Let me just do it. And that was the genesis of my code switching, and it did not change afterwards. Even at work now, where I work with people with different accents, the ones who are Spanish, the ones who are Arabic, the ones who are from different parts of the world, Japanese, they use their accent, but I've just like inherently just picked that, and I'm just like, I don't even want wala. Like, let me just
It's
because
not a fight you're willing to
the
fight
code
for.
switching thing is still something I'm trying to figure out, not as per me, but just why. Because I've noticed a lot of the times it is Nigerians that code switch.
Yeah.
I remember,
No
yeah,
other culture does.
yeah, I remember going on a trip. It was to Egypt. It was like a whole performance thing. I met people from Pakistan, from Mexico. Okay, to be fair, it was me and this Ghanaian guy that code switched. So it's Nigerian guy. But then this guy from Thailand, somebody from Vietnam, everyone spoke English in their accent. We're speaking to each other, like all of that. Egyptian, Arabic Egyptians as well. And when they're speaking English, their accent showed.
Yeah.
But when it was my turn, when it was the Ghanaian guy's turn, we just switched.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a colonialism thing or if it's just, I don't know, but I've noticed that, especially Nigerians, when it comes to code switching, like they're the ones who, nobody else does it as much as we do, but that's like a mystery I'm still trying to figure out. But
I feel like it's something to do with, like I said, trying to be understood, try not to repeat yourself.
there's
But
an
then,
inferiority as well, part
yeah,
of
and
it.
because we deem British, like the white British,
Higher
as
class, blah,
superior,
blah, blah.
it's okay, so how can I make them be the same as me? Or for them to see me as the same, I have to be like them. Or the American version of them with the Nigerian British American accent.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
So
yes.
that's why I said there's
My
levels to the
R's are
accent.
still like the R. I don't do the British R. I use the American R. But yeah, okay. So I looked online for like some dilemmas
Okay.
because you're very good at giving advice. So
Oh
let's see.
gosh. Like
Putting
I
you on the
even
spot.
advised you, don't change your
Yeah,
accent,
don't change
keep it. It's a part of you. Like I
Yeah.
would love to be able to just speak pidgin and not have someone laugh at me like, what is this girl trying to do?
Do you know that I speak pidgin and I get laughed at? Let me
So
start there.
imagine me speaking pidgin. You want to laugh, right?
Oh my gosh, there was one day I said, my husband, there was one day I said something and then he was like, you can speak pidgin. And I'm just like, by the way, this thing that Nigerians do, they make fun of you speaking pidgin, they do it to everyone speaking any other language.
Yeah.
So I remember I was trying to learn Yoruba and I said something. Oh my God, my friends were like, what's that you're saying? My friend is this. And I'm just like, this is the problem. This is the problem
How
that we
can I
have.
get better if you're
This,
going to put me down?
this is a problem because you're like, just say, oh no, this is how you say it. Or just let me pronounce it as trash as it is and then I'll learn and I'll pick it up. And anyway, so the first one, this person said, I moved to the UK when I was 9 and my accent basically flipped overnight. I didn't plan it, it just happened. Kids at school couldn't pronounce my name, and every time I said something the Nigerian way, they burst out laughing. So yeah, I adopted. I had, so yeah, I adapted. Fast forward to adulthood, I go back to Nigeria for weddings and family visits, and suddenly my accent is a problem. Everyone mocks me for sounding posh or fake. The moment I open my mouth, someone says, Oyibo has arrived.
Mm.
So now I try to code switch, soften the R's, sprinkle a little bit of pidgin, drop a few now, wow, just to blend in. But then people start to laugh harder. They say I sound ridiculous. Why are you trying to force it? They say, just talk normal. Basically, if I speak the British way, I'm pretentious. If I speak Nigerian, I'm performing. I can't win. The last time I went home, a cousin told me I was trying too hard to prove I'm still one of them. It stung because I genuinely am one of them. I'm not pretending to be British. That's just how I sound after 2 decades here. I guess my question is, what's the right move? Should I stick with my accent and risk sounding disconnected, or keep switching to make people comfortable? Because honestly, I'm tired of apologizing for how I speak. Your
Mine,
cousin's a hater.
I would probably say it's interesting because I remember feeling that way
Mm,
years, many, many years ago. And visiting Nigeria, I remember I met my friend Shewa, you've met her,
yeah,
and she came to school here. When I went back to Abuja and we went to Wuse Market, I kept quiet the whole time because I didn't want to be judged or for the price
scammed.
to go up or
Scammed. You would get scammed.
so I remember feeling that exact same way of being around some of my other cousins there and thinking, oh, I hope I don't sound pretentious. So I hear it. And the only thing I will say is, who cares?
Right? Who
Who
cares?
cares? And that's only, I can only say that now with time,
Mm,
experience, and just knowledge. Knowledge is power. And when you stop caring, I still care about what people think. Of course, it's hard to stop. But when you pick your battles and you don't let that be your priority, then just be who you are and people will adapt. Like some
yeah.
of my closest friends, we took our own little version of pidgin together and then I talk my regular English and we don't laugh at each other.
Yeah.
We just embrace each
Hmm.
other and there will be people that will embrace you and those family
Yeah.
members that once laughed will just embrace you regardless. So don't care what
I
other
feel like
people
your
think.
cousin's a hater because what do you mean by you're trying too hard to be like? First of all, it's giving that thing of, oh my gosh, you got out and me, I'm stuck in Nigeria, and then
Yeah, there's
you're
there's a bit of that. There are some
transferring
people
your
that
pain
are
onto someone.
resentful and there's some people that are like, ugh, what's this one trying to prove? I get it, but who don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care what other people think.
That thing that you said, as somebody who actually grew up being laughed at her entire life, people see at some point you just be like, okay, what the hell? Like,
They're
okay,
not gonna laugh forever.
like they're not going to last forever. Okay, if
Hmm.
you're trying, or well, what do you want? What do you want? Do you feel like you want to sound Nigeria because you feel like you're losing a touch, losing like a part of you, or do you enjoy actually sounding British? Like, I think it all depends on you. And if you feel like, oh, sometimes you do want to speak pidgin,
Hmm.
and then you're fine. Sometimes you're like, yeah, at work, I want to keep it professional or something.
It's, what's the word? To each their own.
To each their own,
What is your
exactly.
version of professional?
Exactly.
You
That's why I
know,
just said professional,
when
because
I
sometimes you're like,
yeah, because if you were to be working with a Nigerian company in Nigeria,
but
is a
wait, so
professional sounding British English, American
wait,
English,
if you
Nigerian pidgin?
some Nigerian companies, this is going to be another conversation entirely because they now go into the whole, oh my gosh, why are you speaking pidgin? Because my whole life in school, pidgin English was seen as like, oh my gosh, what's the word? Basically, broken English. You're not allowed. You're only allowed to speak like Queen's English in school.
Which is kind of funny because the opposite here is when you're speaking pidgin amongst Nigerians, it's like you're better than the ones that can't speak pidgin.
I don't know. Okay.
You can't
I
win.
don't know because we're basically flogged for either speaking our language, speaking pidgin, or like not actually. You get criticized for like not speaking the proper English in schools.
Yeah,
So even in a work setting, pidgin was seen as non-professional.
yeah.
So it was just like, what are you doing?
Probably
kind
down
of,
to colonialism.
it is down to
Yeah, but then at the same time, there's a
everything.
lot of countries that were colonized.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
India, for example, they keep their accent.
Nigeria blames everything on COVID. Oh my god. There's a whole Twitter thread on this whole Lord Dugard and how he did all this thing to us, but let's move on. So I have another one.
Okay.
And it says, so after 13 years of paperwork, exams, visa renewals, and endless home office drama, I finally became a British citizen. Congratulations.
Well done.
Legit one of the hardest things I've ever done. I was proud, relieved more than anything. I feel you. So I posted a picture on my Instagram story, as everyone does, holding my new passport, and I captioned it, "We made it." Just like a little victory moment. Within minutes, people back home started sending laughing emojis. One even wrote, "Congrats, Oyibo." My uncle commented, "So you've forgotten Nigeria now." It was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it turned into this weird guilt trip. I started second guessing myself. Am I showing off? Am I rubbing it in? But then I thought, no, I've spent over a decade proving I belong somewhere. Why shouldn't I be proud? But it got worse. A family friend said, "Don't act like you're one of us anymore. You people with blue passports have forgotten the struggle." It's frustrating because life in the UK isn't easy. I'm paying rent that feels like punishment, juggling 2 jobs, still sending money home, yet somehow I am privileged. Now, when people in Nigeria complain about the country, I feel guilty even joining the conversation, like I lost the right to have an opinion. So here's my dilemma. Am I genuinely disconnected now, or are people just projecting their frustrations onto me? Because I swear, sometimes it feels like being a dual citizen means having dual guilt.
You have dual guilt, you have dual responsibility. It's a lot. Firstly, congratulations.
Well done. Well done.
I hear it. Congrats. It's not hard. It's not easy, rather.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very long uphill battle, and nobody understands that better than somebody else that has gone through the same thing
Yeah.
as you. So like I said, for the first dilemma, don't care. One thing you have to realize is I'm not huge on social media. So remember that whenever you're putting something on social media, you're kind of accepting
Preparing yourself for
whatever.
whatever is, yeah, you're the one that put
Exactly.
it out there.
Anything could come back at you. So you have to think, why am I posting this on social media? I would say celebrate with the people you want to celebrate with. And if you do decide to post things on socials, you know, take the comments off if you want to. If you think it's going to be a problem and affect you mentally, spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
take the comments off. But just have it in your mind that if I'm going to put something I'm so proud of out there, I'm going to have to block any negative energy
Yeah.
that comes back at me, because that's what happens. For example, people that are having children, they don't post that on social media because they don't want bad energy.
True.
They just want to be in their vibe.
True.
You get, so it's inevitable. You're gonna get backlash. People are gonna guilt trip you. Don't take it personally. It's a them problem, not a you problem. So
They're
leave that at the
projecting.
door. It doesn't matter. But good on you. Don't let these people bring you down, because I know, I don't personally know from, because I was born British, but someone I love is going through that struggle. And it's not an easy thing. The financial difficulty, tax is a pain
Yeah.
in the backside, and Nigerians in Nigeria, a lot of the time they're just saying, okay, £100, when I convert that into Naira, that's big money.
50K, 60K.
But
Oh
then
my
you have to
God.
remember that money is getting taxed.
Yeah.
And then
I always
everything's
like to say you're
expensive.
earning in pounds, but you're also spending in
Spending in
pounds.
pounds. You're not
So
spending in Naira unless you're visiting.
dirty December.
Yeah, but even that, Dirty December, everything's expensive there.
Girl.
For that whole month, everything has gone
Well,
up.
in Lagos, in Kaduna is cheap.
Okay, in Lagos, sorry. Even in Abuja, sometimes they're like, things are a bit pricey around that period. But, you know, enjoy your wins and celebrate your wins with the people that want to celebrate with you. Don't worry about external people. And those people that want to put you down,
Keep matching them down. I'm kidding.
no,
I'm kidding.
just let it roll off your back and just be like, do you know what? I'm gonna let you have that one to yourself. If me reacting to you is gonna make you happy, so I'm not gonna react and I'm gonna win because I'm winning anyway.
Okay, I have a very different, not different, but that was very good advice, by the way. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you so much. My response to this is, you mentioned that you are sending money back home.
Mm.
Stop sending them money. Let us see how they respond. No, I'm kidding. So, one thing I was going to say is, a lot of the feelings we have as immigrants is survivor's guilt.
Mm.
There's a feeling of you having to, you having escaped the Nigerian reality. So, in a way, if you like, even if you live with all your family members, you still have people you love in Nigeria. So there's no way you could escape feeling guilty. That's, it's still kind of rooted into black tax. How a lot of people are like trapped into black tax, and they're like, they always want to give, they always want to send money, they always want to do this and this and this and this and this. So that feeling that you're like, oh, you're feeling guilty, that you're rubbing it in, are you doing this? Like, when you get to that point, you're not able to celebrate your wins. You said 13 years of
Mm.
like visa. Oh my god, visa renewal. Imagine, let's say you want to travel to Spain, for instance. How
Mm.
many times you have to like apply for Schengen visa or something like that? Or let's even say you're not even traveling, you're working. Just to renew the visa to keep being in the country is another thing entirely.
Mm.
But nobody knows that, nobody understands that. They just know that you are abroad. You just mentioned, oh, I had someone who was saying that, oh, they just mentioned to their family member, I'm renewing my visa. The family didn't understand what that meant. That meant almost 5K leaving the account.
Pounds.
Pounds, yeah. 5K
Sterling.
pounds, not naira. Yes. So, like, most people, you don't get to celebrate your wins, because once you say, oh, I just did this, I'm now a British citizen, people don't understand the blood, sweat, tears that actually went into it. So, I think a lot of what is coming out now is survivor's guilt that has manifested into you feeling like, oh, am I rubbing it in? Blah, 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 blah. But no, you did this. You put in the work. By God's grace, you got it. So, like you said, you're the one winning. Celebrate it
Mm.
and stop sending them money. But I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. They're family. They're family. But I think it's just setting boundaries. And
yeah.
you, like you said, you put it on social media. So there's going to be criticism at some point, and it's just
Block.
you say block, I say stop sending them money.
No, I don't think you should ever. If you want to send money because
Yeah,
that's your own
that's your
personal.
family.
Yeah,
So
that's your family, and you can't. You're always gonna want to try and help your family wherever you can. I just think that just keep in mind that don't go above and beyond when you're suffering, when you're struggling yourself.
mhm.
That's the only thing. Things have gone up in price here, and things have gone up in price in Nigeria. We
Yeah.
try to understand each other's
Mhm.
struggle, but because we're here, it's seen that we're doing better.
Yeah.
And we could essentially be doing a little bit better financially, like on paper, but it's so hard to even enjoy.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, oh, let's go out for
Mhm.
dinner. We'll be calculating, okay, how many hours did I do this
Oh
week?
my god.
How much is the meal? Let me check the menu before I go to the
God. Oh
restaurant.
my god.
Whereas when we go to Nigeria,
No.
you don't even look
I
ahead
feel
of
like the
time.
people who go to Nigeria and really they've worked so many hours here, it's their time to rest. Like, just let them spend that money.
Yeah.
When I started working in the UK, my former flatmate, so I always tell this story, because we would go into Primark, and then she'd be like, okay, how much is this? And then they'd be like, okay, this is 20 pounds. She'd be like, oh my gosh, Aji, this is like 1 hour, 30 minutes of work. I'll be ready to spend this money, because we've just, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's true. I'm about to spend 3 hours
Worth of
worth of
money. Yeah.
work on this. Do I want to work? And maybe I'm okay with just wearing the same clothes I have. Like, that thought goes into your head so many times, as opposed to when you just travel. There was this whole thing when somebody tweeted how people in the UK only send 10K. Like, oh my god, she like
How much is 10K now? Like £7 something. Trust me, I know.
is that not minimum wage or what? Some people get
But
that £7 per hour
like
or something.
that's in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, if I go to Asda now, how much can I buy for £7?
For £7, how much is
Maybe two
egg?
items. Two items.
Or barely two items. Or
Yeah.
what are those two items anyway? Because I don't even.
egg and bread, you're looking at maybe
That's barely a
£5,
sandwich.
£6. A
That's
meal
barely a
deal
sandwich.
is £3 something.
Yeah. Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
you
Mm.
know, it's a lot of money.
Okay. So we'll get back into gisting before
Okay.
we go into another segment. So you mentioned that you went back to Nigeria.
Mm.
How often have you traveled back to Nigeria? Have you or
I'd like to say loads, but I've probably been. Well, I went when I was 3 months old. They like to remind me about that all the time.
does that count? Do you
But
remember anything?
exactly, but they like to remind me. But the last one I went to was probably 2018. No, no, no. When did I meet? 2021. That was the last time I went. So I've
Mm-hmm.
gone
That's not too
maybe
far
not too
back.
far
Yeah.
behind, but I've been maybe a few times
Mm-hmm.
in between that, maybe like before that, sorry. Maybe 2, 3 times before that as an adult.
As an adult, yeah.
And it's mainly to Abuja and Warri.
Nice. So it's not Lagos.
No, I haven't
No,
been.
it's not. You're not missing anything. Don't worry. You're not
I
missing.
have to go though, my husband.
I know. I know that if it's what you just went. What do you mean? You're not missing
But
anything
I'm
in
going,
Lagos.
don't worry, I'm gonna go.
So every time you've gone back to Nigeria,
Mm.
do you feel like they still treat you like a visitor or like not somebody that belongs to this country?
It's kind of hard to say because whenever I've gone to Abuja, it's with family that grew up here.
Hmm.
So I feel at home.
Okay.
They make me feel at home.
That's
I don't
good.
feel any
Yeah.
different.
Okay.
It's more when I go to the market or to the restaurant
Mhm.
or to, you know,
I feel like the market experience is different
it's
because even me, when I first of all, I was never even a market person when I was in Nigeria. So I don't think I'm the perfect example. But even when I go back home, I still get treated like there are different breeds, there are different sections. So there is the people born here and they go back to Nigeria. There's people who are living in Nigeria and then went for like a few years and came back and then IJGB. So there's like a different section of they're still being treated. I think for Nigerians, as far as you've had a taste of the abroad, you are just different.
Yeah.
You're just complete. I mean, I'm fine by that. I don't even never really, which is very annoying because I say I would tell my mom when I was younger that I will always go abroad. So it was not like me saying I go abroad and just like I didn't. What I think the career I was trying to chase was not in Nigeria, and I was like, this is the life I want to live. So it was not like aspiration kind of thing. I was just like, this is what I want to do, and they don't do it in Nigeria, so I'm going to go and stuff. But it just felt like if you've had a taste of abroad, Nigerians will just section you to one side. For instance, there was this whole it was last year when there was a whole feud between Nigerian girls and IGGB girls during Dirty December, and I was just like, "How is this a thing?" They're like, "Oh my gosh, the IGGB girls have come for our boys in the club," and I'm like,
I think with that one, that argument kind of annoyed me because it felt like you're going into another country. Be respectful of the country, whether you are from that country. Be respectful.
yeah.
Just like when you come on to British soil, you're respectful of the
Wait, so
soil
are you on the
here.
side of the Lagos girls or
I'm on the side of everybody has their
Okay,
opinion,
okay.
but let's just be respectful of
Okay.
everybody. I'm not siding with any, if
One
that
thing
makes
that
sense. Because I
get
felt like
you.
the English ones were now like I don't know, showing off to a degree. And then the Nigerian ones were like, oh, so you think you're better than us? Let me show you. You know, but we don't need to do that. We're the same. Why are we fighting?
We're the same, but they would never say we're the same. That's the
Okay,
thing.
but when it comes down to it, on paper, we are the
Nobody cares about
same.
paper,
No,
Tash.
but this is
I
the
get
thing
what you
that
mean. I get
we're
what you mean.
always segregating ourselves, and then that gives the other person to.
But we're Nigerians. We're
I
literally
know.
segregated. Like
Yeah, no, but it's
Yorubas don't
like I
even think
said,
they're all
think
the
about it
same
like
Yoruba.
this,
Igbos don't think they're all the same Igbos.
which I find. Stand by your tribe. Go ahead. I'm Delta and I stand proud. Great.
Their whole
And
identity is
Igbo through
segregation.
marriage. But what I'm trying to say is when if you go back to my first conversation about growing up, when all the black kids were together, we felt at home. We felt one.
But was that because you were in a place where you had to be together?
We didn't have to be together.
Okay.
We chose each other because you look like me, I look like you, so we are the same.
But then that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you guys had that thing in common. In Nigeria, we all look kind of all look the same. So I
But
was
we
like,
have
okay,
different tribes. I get it.
mm-hmm.
But then you don't see the Scottish man arguing with the Irish man, arguing with the English man,
Anybody got time
arguing
for
with the
that?
Welsh man. You don't see it. So why do we,
This
or
is
the
why we
Birmingham
bring it
arguing
back
with
to
the
Lord Lugard.
you,
This is
my point is just be respectful of the
yeah,
person next to you. That's all it comes down
yeah.
to. Let's not do this what is it?
I completely agree,
Peacocking.
100%.
We don't need to do that.
I think it's projecting. It's still like, see, when it comes down to it, everybody's given the opportunity would leave Nigeria because, but it is projecting, and this person has done nothing like to you. So why are you feeling like you need to like other this other person and just make them feel separate?
Mm,
But one thing that really annoyed me was this British influencer Adiola
mm,
Patron. I think I pronounced her name right. She was, I think, was it 2 years ago that she was documenting that she went to Nigeria and or Lagos or something like that, and she was like picking up some Yoruba phrases, and she got so much hate. People were making fun of her, and in my head, I was just thinking like, what the hell? Like, this girl is Nigerian. She's saying, okay, I want to feel more connected. I've lived in the UK all my life, or what the story was, but somehow, Nigerians in Nigeria don't want to let this be breast. And you're like, that's not even, what are you saying? Like,
I feel like it's partly part of the culture to
oh, yeah, for sure.
like and
That's what I was
take the
saying. Like,
piss.
if somebody is
Yeah.
trying to speak Yoruba, it's not for any tribe, sharp, but for,
Yeah. Like sometimes when I'm on the phone to my in-laws, I speak in Yoruba to them and then we start laughing and then so I don't even take it personally
yeah.
anymore. I will laugh with you. Let's laugh at
Mm-hmm,
it. Because
mm-hmm.
it does I know it sounds funny. But then, you know, the fact that she's even trying, because I know my
Yeah.
in-laws were like, well done.
If
You
you're
tried.
trying, yeah, if you're
Did
trying,
you
like,
get
come on,
like
yeah.
they're just happy to hear that you're even making an
Making
attempt.
an effort.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, do you ever or have you ever felt guilty about the British part?
No.
That was such a straight no.
I wasn't born here by my choice. So why would I feel
Mm,
guilty for something that I
mm,
had no choice in the
mm.
matter? Not to say that you coming abroad and living here and trying to get a British passport, you
Yeah,
should now feel guilty.
yeah,
But to each their own. I don't have anything to feel guilty about.
true.
If anything, I feel that I've always tried to help other people in so many different ways.
Yeah,
If you come to me and you need advice, it's come several times. People have come to me, they need advice or something. Ah, Tash, I need to help, or I'm doing a visa, or da da da. What do you think? How can I? I will go out of my way and try and help
mm-hmm.
you. So I will use my knowledge to help. First and secondly, I'm like I said, I am British born here, but I'm not the first British born here. My mom was British born here. It was my grandma that came. So
Oh,
that makes me what, second generation?
I don't know how they count the generation
Something
things,
like
but
that.
yeah.
Let's just pretend. So, you know, I'm only going by what I've seen before me
Mm-hmm.
and what I've seen my mum
Yeah.
do, what I've seen my grandparents do.
Mm-hmm.
And what my grandma did was everybody helps themselves. All like I said,
True.
all the black people help themselves, help each other. So if you're why would I feel guilty? What did I didn't do anything. I didn't
True.
colonize anywhere. I didn't. So why would I feel guilty?
I don't know.
I know it's probably sounds like, oh, I'm being cheeky, but
No, no, that's
like
true.
you don't know me to now feel annoyed with me. So why should I feel some kind
I
of
would
way?
really like to do a part two of this episode. We have I said I was going to do that, but have a Nigerian, let's say British Nigerian, a Nigerian, and then I just have we
Let's have a
just
debate.
talk. But yeah, fine. But that part of you, like, oh, people come to you for stuff. Now I've come to you for something.
Okay.
Would you mind exchanging your British passport with my Nigerian passport?
No. I have the Nigerian passport too.
So no one cares about that.
But
Please.
I'm not gonna change the British passport. I'll use it.
I didn't say change. I said swap with
Exchange.
me.
No, if you need it for a day, maybe. But I think it's a luxury that I have that I don't see as much value in as somebody else.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that. That's with a lot of us. So if something is difficult for you and it's not so difficult for me, I can only sympathize, but I can't
Yeah.
be
And you
sad
do
about.
sympathize. A lot
Yes.
of British Nigerians that I know do sympathize. I think there's also a knowledge thing as well. Because I remember one of the times we were having a conversation and you were like, this whole visa conversation, this whole visa stuff, you had no idea about it and you had to learn about it.
Mhm.
And it's just
I
willingness
kind
to
of
know.
knew.
Yeah,
Growing
yeah,
up, you kind
exactly.
of
Yeah, you
know,
knew.
like,
But the
an
details and
idea.
like
Yeah.
what actually goes into it is just like,
Mm.
and that's fair, like, because he never had to do any of that. But knowing about it and meeting people that had to sort through that
Mm.
has been something that you learned about. It's just different circumstances,
Yeah.
and it's um for the average immigrant having to navigate all of that, um than the British Nigerian who is navigating something completely different. Yes, there is privilege, but there is still something, because for me, as far as I'm concerned, as an immigrant, as somebody who was able to travel out, the privilege of being able to travel out is there.
Mm.
So most people choose to remove themselves from that and just see, oh my gosh, well, you have a British passport. And I'm like, it's this suffering mentality in Nigeria. It's just like you're trying to one up each other with who suffers more.
Mm.
And you're like, okay, let's say a British Nigerian is here and they're talking about, well, I've had to navigate this, I don't feel like I'm fitting anywhere. And then the Nigerian responds, well, at least you have a British passport. I'm just like, okay, you are suffering. Are you happy?
But
Like,
let me flip it like this as well, because I also know some Nigerians that have come from Nigeria, born and raised, maybe came here to study
mm-hmm,
and managed to stay here,
mm-hmm.
but they're still living as if they are in Nigeria. So they still send loads of money home. They're building
Yeah.
houses, but they're not actually enjoying being in this country because they're still acting as if they're
Okay,
in
I see what you
Nigeria.
mean.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So it's like
yeah.
you're just hustling here
True.
to now enjoy later
To
in
enjoy it. Well, when
Nigeria.
is it later?
But then exactly. And when will you just take a step back and relax?
Fair enough.
Because time
There are also Nigerians who have come here. It took them a lot longer because I think now the route to being a British citizen is shorter. For them, it was a lot longer.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of entitlement to the ones who are getting it. Their route is shorter. So maybe it took them 10, 15 years to become British citizens.
Mm.
And these guys are getting in like, what, 5, 6, 7 years. And they're like, no, this is too, you
It's not
guys know
fair.
it's not fair. And I'm like,
Life is unfair,
Yeah.
I'm afraid. They're always changing the post.
but I'm just like, that thing you said about like, we're all one, we're all here together. I remember, so when I was doing my master's, I had to do a final year project, and I the one I did was called I'm Not Black, I'm African.
Mm.
And it was just me trying to be like, you guys all see us the same, but you forget that there's a whole plethora of people and cultures and tribes and this and this and this and this and this and this. And that's what we forget, because unfortunately we've had to band together so many times. And we're like, oh, you're from here, you're from here. I see people at work and I'm just like, oh my gosh, where are you from? And then automatically we just click African or not, Nigerian or not, Ghanaian or not, we just, wherever you're from, we just click, and somehow we just find that we are bonding. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. Oh my god. The day I met a Nigerian, I was just like, and it was a Yoruba person. That would not happen if I was in Nigeria.
No.
Because it's just like, oh my gosh, Yoruba, Hausa. Like, but once you're here, there's just something about being here that just makes you bond, and you just forget that, oh my gosh, you are Hausa, you are this
Because
tribe or this.
it's bigger than this now.
It is bigger.
Because like I said, you're the minority
Yeah.
now. Well, so we are the minority,
We are-
regardless
nobody
of our
cares.
tribe.
Nobody cares. You're just like, oh my gosh,
You're just black or
Yeah.
white, or
All right.
whichever other place.
I'm enjoying this convo. So I have a little game. I'm calling it the This or That British Nigerian edition.
Don't say passport.
You know, I should say that. So I'm just going to give you two options and you just pick one. Like,
Okay.
don't think, just pick one.
Okay.
Jollof rice or Sunday roast?
Oh
I knew
gosh. Oh, that was mean. As a first one, Sunday roast.
I knew it.
Because you can change it up a bit.
Oh. Pidgin English or British accent?
I'm indifferent.
Nollywood movies or Netflix drama?
Although Nollywood movies have been really hitting.
All right.
Maybe Nollywood.
Nice. Christmas in Lagos or Christmas in London? Or let's say Christmas in Warri and Christmas in London.
Never done Christmas there, so I don't know what I'm missing. So it would be unfair. If
Hmm.
I could bring my family with me,
Mhm.
we'll go to Worry. Let's
Okay.
try something new.
All right. Sweater dress or wearing ashoke?
Okay, so I have never worn ashoke.
Okay,
That's it.
wearing
So let me
something traditional.
say it's traditional. Okay, like George. How did it?
You know, no,
Wait,
I
when you,
should
do you
say
mean every day or?
no, just for like okay. Let me make it a little bit simpler. Your wedding dress, the white
Mhm.
wedding dress, or the traditional outfit you had. Dun, 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 dun.
For a day?
Yeah.
That's hard. The wedding dress was more comfortable.
Nobody cares about comfort, Tash. Which one did you like better?
My white trad was really nice though.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah. Either or, I don't know.
Okay.
I looked great in both.
You did actually. You really did. So this one, I actually want to hear your answer on this. Growing up with extended family or the nuclear family?
I don't know. Explain that further. Sorry.
Like cousins, aunties, uncles, or just like dad, mom, brother, sisters?
The whole thing. Like, oh, I grew up with my cousins who are like my siblings, so I don't know any other way.
Fair. Okay. Um, tea or okay, you don't drink
Palm
Zobo.
wine.
Okay, yeah, tea or palm wine.
I'll probably do the palm wine. Can't lie.
Hurry, babe. That's that. Yeah, that's actually so you. So let's say that you just met somebody who is British Nigerian and they're really going through a tough time. So say they've grown up with all British people or white people or something, and then they come into a Nigerian community and they're really struggling. What would you say to them?
I'll tell them to hang in there because nothing is forever and God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. So just have faith,
Mm-hmm.
remove yourself from the situation
Yeah.
and be around people that make you feel comfortable if you can. Seek for help and you shall find it.
That's really good advice. I told you she gives really good advice. So thank you for coming
Thanks for
on.
having
It was
me.
very nice having you on. I think I'd like to have you with a Nigerian born Nigerian to yeah, you guys.
And I know the one.
I know. So thank you so much for being on. Bye guys. Bye.
Bye.
Woo.